Hello, everyone, and welcome to Button Smash.
Smash!
Pow, pow, smashing sounds.
Yeah.
This is the most enthusiasm we have ever shown.
We'll put one of the Hulk hand sound effects in post, so it's like.
Back at it. Button Smash is the podcast. Let's friggin' do it.
Yeah. Tonight, we're talking about some of the latest news and events that have happened throughout the week. We'll be talking about the latest from Microsoft, the next generation of Xbox systems, the latest from Ubisoft Forward event, they got to call it something else, and some Zelda news and more. I am your host, Sergio the Bad Cody. Let's meet the rest of our Smashing Chaos. We got Dot Chris.
I'm smashing.
We got TV's Casey.
I'm also smashing.
Got Jay's Mac.
I'm smashing just but slightly less than Casey.
And you know him, you love him, the boost, Greg.
I'm smashing just slightly more than Casey.
This is good.
Slightly more, just slightly,
Slightly
more.
more.
Just slightly more, just to getting that combo in a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, guys. So this week, Microsoft came out with some Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. That name convention still is terrible. People got paid on salary to think of that. Let's just keep that in our minds.
Yeah, they got paid more than us.
Yeah. Naming
That
convention.
makes me. That doesn't help.
Let that sit in.
It's like when they're all when they're all sitting in their boardrooms looking at their iPhones. iPhone XS.
Dude, kids with lisps everywhere are just absolutely pissed.
Oh my
Mhm.
god! Asking their parents about for Christmas, can I have the Xbox Series X?
What?
It's like I don't know if my kid wants the X or the S. I don't.
I think
Which-
my kid's speaking in parcel tongue.
My kid's speaking to the Dark Lord. What has my
Daffy
child
Duck
become?
just incorporated my son's soul. What happened?
What happened to my child? Oh my god!
What's an X bone? An X bone? Bone X?
An
What?
Xbox Series
what's
X?
happening?
One of those that's tricky. One of those things. What was it? Mike Tyson was in the boardroom thinking of this stuff. Oh man! Please don't hurt me, Mike Tyson. Please don't come for me, Mike Tyson. Anyway, so guys, tell me more about the Series X and what went down this week.
So a couple things kind of happened with it. We got a pre-order release, or not pre-order release date, but a pre-order date. So they already have that above on Sony's little, I don't know what you would call it, like Black Ops email chain, where it's like, hey, if you want the stuff, you got to be here. You got to be here and email us, and then maybe at some point we'll get back to you.
Wait, is that
No.
what happened?
Mike, they sent out like an email that was just like, hey, if you want to pre-order the PS5, this is what you need to do. Just email us and then we'll tell you later. We promise.
Yeah, it was very odd. Like,
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
submit, you had to, or then you just go to the website and just submit your email for it anyways. And I think it was basically they're just data mining. That's what's happening.
Yep.
I'm just gonna
yeah,
wait till it pops up on Amazon then. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So what Microsoft's doing that's different is they're being a lot more transparent with what's going on with the latest Xbox Series X and the newer announced Xbox Series S. So the pre-order goes live on September 22nd, which is only a few weeks away from now, from when we're recording this. It has a November 10th release date, which is crazy. And the Series X is officially going to be launching at a $499 price point. The Series S is going to be put at a $299 price point. Now, Microsoft is sitting there going, man, this Game Pass, this is really doing us wonders over here. We love it. People just don't want to pay us a lot of money up front. They want to pay us more money spread out over
It's
time.
gangbusters.
It's gangbusters, I tell you. So what's going to happen is they also have an option where you can pay $24.99 a month for your Xbox. I believe it's the Series S for 24 months, and that includes the Xbox All Access Pass, which
you
I
want
believe.
your Xbox? We got financing, we got refinancing, we got Game Pass. We don't have Game Pass.
You on Game Pass? We're gonna throw in Game Pass just for you.
We're gonna throw in Game Pass. We're also gonna throw in the gold thing that no one likes, just so you have to have it again.
I was pretty happy to see that they include a Stroop waffle on top of that Xbox Series S. Though.
That's the thing with the S. It looks like it has like a speaker. It looks like a subwoofer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so odd when you see it. It looks like a hot plate, like one of those like it's funny, like since someone like the Asian viewers when this was live in the chat was like, that looks like what I have like in my apartment to cook all my meals.
Yeah.
Like what is this? Oh man, like it looks like a little hot plate. You put your little food on, and then some fire comes up, and you cook your little kimchi's and stuff.
First we had a refrigerator, now we have a hot plate.
It looks like, remember those old school tape recorders where you just like that they used to use for like interrogation?
Yeah.
That's what it looks
reel
like.
to reels.
Yeah, no, well, not a reel to reel, but like a cassette. But right after that one, it looks like that to me.
Yeah, I love all the memes coming forward. Like it looks like a walkie-talkie. Like, hello, Xbox, hey, Xbox.
Xbox over.
Yeah, but I love that they're promising a lot, like 4K gaming up to 120 frames per second, and then in the bottom line, it's just like, well, games gotta be compatible with 120 frames per second. Anyway, like don't play much if your game's not even 120 frames per second. And then, they're promising, there's like your own customizable SSD and NVMe, which is just like the newest technology for SSDs, solid state drives, which are like faster, and you can store more stuff on it. And everything is like next gen hardware, like next gen software, next gen GPUs, 4K upscaling for games, which means that if your game is in local like 1080p, it's going to upscale it to 4K, so it's not actually crispy 4K. They're just kind of tricking you using some internal software to make that happen.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you buy a TV and they're just like super smooth 2040, and you're like, oh, this must be like 240 frames per second, and you're just like, no, it's
also
really
my
like
eyes
60.
can't see it.
Yeah, so who cares?
Yeah,
but like, yeah,
I'm
so
not
like
a chameleon.
it's very interesting that they're doing a Series S and a Series X launch at the same time, because for the Xbox One they did not do that. It was, you had your OG Xbox One, and then you had a little bit later they announced the Xbox One X, and then they announced I can always want to call it Series S now because it's a stupid naming convention. The Xbox One S, and they launched the S before the X. So,
and they decided to pick the letters that sound most like each other.
Stupid.
Just to make it less
ridiculous.
Somebody got paid.
Imagine if you had like a lisp, the F-both F. Like,
You're done.
how would you? How could you? You're toast. How could you even say it?
I feel like I've heard that joke before today, but when?
It's kind of familiar.
What
Seems
comedian did I
familiar.
steal it from?
We recycle on this podcast. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that yet.
We run out of jokes real fast, and we start using them within the same podcast.
Now, the jokes aren't funnier than what Xbox is actually putting out here with all their amazing like branding names. Like, oh, let's let's have this commercial on our YouTube channel and just streaming it out to the world. Where like we have dedicated hardware decompression blocks, we got direct storage API, we've got sampler feedback streaming, all this stuff. It's like, I wonder if that works on like your average consumer who's like, oh, this Xbox is promising.
I'm sitting here just like, I know what those words mean.
Yeah, sampling is a word. I mean, I go to Costco and they have sampling there. I guess that's the thing they got. I mean,
wait, are they gonna have Costco in the Series X?
I hope so,
dude. I bought API in bulk over at Costco.
Real talk. Now
I don't need it in my Xbox Series 1X, 2X, red fish, blue fish.
Yeah,
so good.
You know what is grabbing a lot of people's attention though is that $299 price tag for a next gen launch system. That is ridiculous.
What is this, 2001?
Well, so what they did, if you kind of think about it, they looked at PlayStation 5 and they're like, all right, they have a discless version and a disc version. That's pretty much what Xbox did right here, but they're like, no, but we have to undercut them. It's like a used car salesman at this point. It's like, all right, we got to undercut them, ready to go. I see you're selling it for that. We're selling it for this over here. Because the rumor is, I think right now that it will be no more than $100 cheaper, probably $50 cheaper between the two different PS5 versions.
It's a race to the bottom, baby.
This one is a $200 difference, and it's not just the disk drive that's not there. It is also a less internal storage. It is digital only. It doesn't perform quite as well, and it only goes 4K upscaling. It doesn't do 8K, which is what the Series X is supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken. Also, the GPU is not as good, and I think the CPU is similar.
Yeah, even in their presentation, they're still trying to sell you on the Series S, which is the one that's cheaper. They're like, oh, it still does kind of the same stuff that the Series X has. It's like, but it doesn't. And then they're like, yeah, but it's still a good price, still a good system. It was really weird. They're like, you can buy the system for less, and it still kind of performs as the Series X, our flagship, our big King Kamehameha system. I'm like, yeah, but that's not True. Wait,
But like,
what?
so here's the thing though, is this system alone isn't all that great, but you partner this with Game Pass, and all of a sudden you don't need discs. You don't need this.
That's a
system,
huge like selling point with this thing. It's like you don't need a physical copy. You don't need like all the parts of the Series X does have. But for those who want to go all out, who do want the hard copy games, that's where you get the Series X. But everything else digital, you get the Series S. Kind of like how PlayStation has their digital version of the PS5, and then like the regular version, which with the disc and everything.
Well, the Series S is the one that you buy for the guest room. Is exactly what that is, right? Like you hook it in here, so I'd be like, yeah, you're here. Okay, well, you could just like use this one. That's fine. It's still great, but you're not putting it up against your main living room TV. You're not like, especially if you're trying to future-proof things just a little bit.
It's my travel Xbox.
Yeah. And it also makes a lot of sense why they were pushing Game Pass so hard this year, because I think we even commented on that. Maybe when we were Bad County Funky, where we're just like, it's great, it's great value, it's so cheap, like they can't be making like too much money off of this. And then they announced the Series S. Now you're like, oh,
so if I don't like any of the games, can I just keep the system and stop paying for it? Like what? Like how does that trade-off work? Right?
It's like Netflix. Like, so it'll download
hardware.
No, like the games.
No, that's what I'm getting at though, is like the hardware. I'm like, yeah, this actually sucks. Like I don't want to use this anymore. Like
too bad. You're in a contract. Probably, I would assume.
All right.
Yeah.
You just accept defeat. All right. Well,
you have to mail the system back in like an old cable box.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I hope they do that, because I'm gonna mail it back if I really don't like it, and just like shake it up a whole bunch and be like, yeah, like I don't know, postal service, man, defund it. Who knows?
It's actually a really good idea for like people who own like Airbnbs and stuff. Just get like an Xbox like Series S and like, put it in like the living room or whatever. It's just like a nice
true
streaming box thing. You can tell your kids, hey, we have like an Xbox, so if you have like kids that you're traveling with, like here, they can just pick it up and play. There's like digital stuff or whatever. You can order like a couple games. Yeah, exactly. Or just have it as like a streaming box, because there have been some Airbnbs I've seen and they're like, oh, there's like an Amazon like Fire Stick in the living room, and one of them had like an Nvidia Shield, and I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. So hey, Airbnb owners, idea right there.
It's like those old Nintendo 64s that were in hotels, and they had the special controller that had all kinds of crazy buttons.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Xbox is really like just like Greg said, now you get rather really pushing that Game Pass and the ultimate Game Pass.
I mean, the Series, I was not going to buy an Xbox. No. Period. I was like, I have a PC. I don't need that. But the Series S has got me intrigued. It's not a launch thing for me, but if I can get that in 2 years for $100 less, that's super tempting right there.
Yeah.
Because then I could just play, if I just do re-up Game Pass, I can just literally play whatever I want in my bedroom and not worry about it. So like that's the main thing for me. And also, like the guest room scenario or the bedroom, you're not having your giant 50, 60 inch TV in that room. That's usually like the living room TV, if you're not trying to TV flex, but I'm definitely TV flexing right now. But like, you don't need that super crazy. It upscales 4K, which is good enough for a 1080p TV. That's probably no larger than 30 something inches.
But what about the curve? What about those curved monitors?
No, I hate those. I still hate those. I never bought into that trend, and I still dislike them entirely.
Why get a curved monitor when you have 3 that curve around you right now?
Yeah,
because
monitors.
They only curve at a 30-degree angle. You need that smooth curve.
I thought Casey's like, I need a 45 or bust.
Oh yeah, that's it. Just if you ain't perpendicular at any particular line of sight, get out of here. Forget about it.
Yeah. But yeah, like the S for me, like I said, went from no Xbox to maybe Xbox. It's still not a definite. It's just that now it's like, I see, tempting, interesting.
If I find myself leaning towards that and you guys find out, right, I want you guys to just say, hey, why don't you just finance, like just open up your credit card and just go get an RTX card. You know what I mean? Like go do that. It'll be a better use of your money, I feel like, in my opinion.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if that drops $100 in a couple of years, that's way cheaper and that's way easier just to have that set up, because that's also going to be 2 plugs max. You don't need to worry about mouse and keyboard. You don't have to worry about too crazy if like things go wrong. You also have your Netflix hooked up in there, very easy access, all of that stuff. So
True.
it's a streaming box with an Xbox built into it, which is nuts.
There's somebody at Microsoft who's like, "Damn it, it's not what we're going for."
that's what it's gonna happen.
But that's what it is. That's 100% what it is.
That's absolutely what it is.
That might not have been their goal, but that's what's happening.
It's risky too, because while the price point is really nice, look at things like the Steam box, which you can buy on a Steam sale for like 25 cents. The shipping is literally more money than the actual box.
Yeah, I don't know
itself.
what I did with mine. It's lost. It's been
still,
lost for years.
I set it up and it's just like I never touched it. It's just like
same here.
there. Yeah.
They should just lean into it. It's like when Sony tried to push the PlayStation 2 as a DVD player.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It did work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
actually, PS3 it was the same thing with Blu-ray.
yeah, the PS3 when it came out, while it was expensive, it was the cheapest Blu-ray player that you could get.
Yep.
Which is absurd. So like, yeah, I think you're right, Casey. They just need to lean into it and just accept it instead of fighting it. This also, so whenever we talk about the console wars, right? And it's always like, who's better, Sony or Microsoft? Then PC nerds like, well, the PC's better. Like, so Jason sounds like in my head.
And I'm here.
Well,
I'm
the
like,
Whoa!
They're all
I'm not
inferior.
That guy.
it's Nintendo.
Maybe.
No, but like then you have Casey, who's Nintendo, that just sits there with his portable device.
You have
that has
Casey
the
in like the Hufflepuff corner. Nintendo.
but like, so
That
since,
was a lot of nerddom right there.
since the original Xbox, it's always kind of been a back and forth of who is the people's console, if you will. It was the PlayStation 2, and then it was the Xbox 360, and then it was the PlayStation 4, and now it's kind of like up in the air, right? It's kind of like, well, what's going on? I think that this is also a move to kind of get that popularity back. I think because there's no other reason to own an Xbox right now.
Right.
If you have a good PC, there's no other reason. Sony has all of the exclusives, so go for the cheaper price point. Have this like crazy too good to be true subscription service, and you're good to go.
And it's also crazy too because I know some people who aren't into quote unquote the PC game, like they're one of my buddies, DJ Sidereel, just got himself a nice
your close personal
my
friend,
close personal
DJ
buddy
Sidereel.
DJ Sidereel. You can catch on this stream when we game weekdays. But yeah, like he just got himself like a nice gaming PC, help him like set it up and everything, and he just has a PlayStation, and he's one of those guys who he's kind of like, you know, doesn't know anything about PCs, building them, whatever, even like ordering parts, even like my buddy Alex right now is like shopping around for a PC, and I'm like trying to like, okay, well, you need these parts, this and that, and he's like, listen, I just want something all together, put whatever, and he has a PlayStation, so there is a market still for people who don't mess with PCs and just want to buy a console. So it's interesting, you know, having like a PC and being in this world, and Xbox selling these two different systems and promising all this like PC hardware that's already really available, because we're just like why would anyone even buy this? But there are people who are still intimidated by PCs who will buy this, who just want to buy a console, not think about anything else, not think about parts and putting things together. Like it comes all in one, and Bob's your uncle, you have yourself like a gaming rig. Now, I do still think that PlayStation has the edge over Xbox because of their exclusives. I mean, like, what has Xbox really announced that has like, you know, a foothold over PlayStation in regards of like games that you really want to play and you really want to buy?
Obviously, you didn't see Halo with downgraded graphics.
Oh, Halo with that crazy monkey.
A monkey, little monkey fella.
Yeah, the Halo that went back into development and pushed their date back until question marks because like all the reaction from their showcase was like, what the? It
worked for
the hell is
Sonic.
that?
Right.
It did work for Sonic. It did work for Sonic. They went back and cooked it a little bit more. But Nintendo's kind of been holding strong through the pandemic. I mean, hell, when Animal Crossing came out, people were like, "Oh crap, I gotta get myself a Switch. They're all sold out everywhere." Wow. But yeah,
Even right now, as we speak and record this in September of 2020, they are still hard to find.
Yeah.
Nintendo has always been on like a different frequency. They haven't really participated in the console wars, really. Probably like not really since the GameCube. They've basically broke off and just done their own thing, and it's been paying off for them.
I would even say the console war for Nintendo kind of ended with the Genesis against Super Nintendo. Like after that, they're like, all right, we'll make N64. It's 3D console, but it's got the weirdest controller you've ever got.
Yeah.
True.
Also, they won the console war really like in the shadows when they just said, "Yeah, we have Mario and Zelda."
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when Reggie Fils-Aimé was president or CEO or whatever the hell he was, he was just like, okay, if you want to play Zelda, guess where you got to play it. Nintendo. If you want to play Donkey Kong, guess where you got to play it. Mario, like we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
You're going to come to us and pay us money to play all these titles. And
Well,
it's just like you're right.
That's the thing though, is like I feel like Nintendo is just like from another earth, because like I think Jason said with the frequencies, it's like it's accurate where like they'll line up once in a while. So like the Switch is a huge hit because that's what they wanted the Wii U to be. The Wii U sucked because people thought you could just take the controller with you wherever you wanted, and that's why it failed. The Wii was great because it was the first motion control, the first accessible motion control games that you could like really get, and the ideas that people had were just like astounding, and what they did with it was great. But when they stagnate, man, they stagnate hard, and there's no recovering.
Nintendo has always learned from their mistakes.
Yeah.
Every time. I mean, look, you have the Virtual Boy, and then you have Nintendo Labo.
The Virtual Boy.
You put the stupid little cardboard goggles in front of your face. It still gives you headaches, but it's way better than that red Deatho vision.
That's not the best example though, because that's also like a 20-year gap of and their iteration is just cardboard. They go, oh, this is like crazy technology. It's like way ahead of its time, but it can only be red.
All right. Well,
because
look, a better
science.
example is you just look at the evolution of the Game Boy.
Yeah.
To where we are
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
The
they're-
Game Boy
they're-
Advance SP was like 100%. People wanted a backlight. People wanted it to be a little bit less awkward shaped. They
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's any surprise, this is not like a hot take. Nintendo is the best at innovating in gaming. Period.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they take what they have and they just make it better and better and better and better and better, and then you think they can't make it even better, and they give you 3D without 3D glasses. Like, where did that come from?
I'm still blown away by Star Fox 64 on 3DS.
I know.
I'm
It
still
looks so
blown away
good.
by it. I played
Yeah.
it. I played it in the Nintendo store, like right before it came out. And I'm looking at one of the guys who works there, who I'm of course extremely jealous of because he works at the Nintendo store in New York. And I'm like, how does this have 3D without glasses? And he's like, he just waves his hand,
screens.
he just waves his hands in front of his face and wiggles his fingers like it's magic.
He just turns into
Incredible.
John Hammond from Jurassic Park. I'll show you.
We spend no expense at Nintendo.
And we spend no expense
The
here.
DNA.
And we spend no expense here at the Button Smash Show until we have to go to a short commercial break. So we will be right back after these messages.
With a cape. No, anything.
Yeah.
No, cape is always crazy. Cape is always crazy. Look, there are clowns walking the streets right now. We
Right
don't
now.
bat an eye. There is no one dressed in a cape. Rogue Wave Podcast, the frequency for all things pop culture and the disruptors behind it. Streaming every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook.com/Rogue Wave Podcast, and available immediately following the live stream wherever major podcasts can be found.
Hey, and welcome back to the show. Button Smash Show. Yeah. All right. So, what else is going on in gaming news? Ubisoft had their special presentation called Ubisoft Forward, where they're showcasing some new games and some old games with a new twist. First up, we got Immortals Phoenix Rising, which was, I think, originally called like Gods and Monsters or something like that. They've rebranded to Immortals Phoenix Rising. So, Immortals Phoenix Rising brings grand mythological adventures to life. You play as Phoenix, a new winged demon demigod on a quest to save the Greek gods from their home from a dark curse. So, Immortals Phoenix Rising. Elephant in the room, just gonna put it out there. They showed us a gameplay, they showed us the world, they showed us the characters. Looks like some Breath of the Wild going on here. Looks
You
like
take God of
heavily-
War in one hand, you take Breath of the Wild in other hand, and you make baby.
Yeah,
Reese's video game is what it is.
pretty much, yeah. Now, I don't mind the Breath of the Wild aesthetic. I think it looks pretty good. I'm interested in playing this game.
Yeah.
AKA Karen of War. So in it,
That's scarier.
very, very, very proud of that joke. But yeah, so what do you guys think of Immortals Phoenix Rising? So you have this.
I want to
you have
speak to
this-
Zeus's manager.
Right, you have this like grand open Breath of the Wild like world. You have these wings that'll like get you to traverse through it. You get yourself some upgrades. You fight some monsters. You get some boss battles. You fight the Ganon Calamity. I mean, you fight whatever the hell they're calling the Ganon Calamity.
Yeah.
Because there's literally a point where like, oh, and you fight the corruption. Once you defeat the corruption, you get to fight this boss and do these certain things. And our UI looks like a mobile game.
Yeah, it does.
I was watching the presentation. Our friend the Geek Generation was kind of like just doing it and doing Rob with a reaction. And I feel like a lot of people in chat were just like, "Oh, this looks great. This looks amazing." And I literally thought like I was, what's his name? I was Will Ferrell in Zoolander. I was like, this is just a Breath of the Wild knockoff. Am I taking crazy pills or something? Like, what is this? What is going on here?
It's derelict.
It looks interesting, but it doesn't like. If you're gonna knock off a Switch title, you have to make sure that your game looks better than the Switch title, graphically speaking. Like the environment looks really good, but the character animations to me just look weird.
Yes,
It looks a little too
odd.
bubbly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little too Fortnite-y.
Definitely a little too Fortnite.
I think it's weird that so many. Well, it's not weird. It's obvious because the game's beautiful. But like, there's so many places, so many people are copying Breath of the Wild and like that art style and like that. Like, I don't know, the mechanics. There's some games that look really good. That I'm like, I know I'm gonna have fun playing, and I think that one was like the anime looking one. I forget what the title name is now. This one doesn't look as fun. Like you said, it does look like an iOS game, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's weird that they can't, I don't know, change it somewhat, to make it look different. They all just kind of look the same now.
Yeah, and I agree. Like the character models look a bit Fortnite-y, but a bit like lower res than that. While the world itself is like they spent more time, it seems,
In the environment.
on the environment. They're like, oh, we're gonna sell people on our concept of this whole like gods and monsters thing. You're getting upgrades and stuff like that. But the world, I mean, people will recognize this world a little bit, kind of looking like a game everybody really was jazzed about and really liked. And I'm just like, yeah, the world looks cool, and I'd want to traverse in it. But the UI looks so weird. I mean, you have I can't get over how much of a mobile game it looks like. At first, like I was tuning into the presentation and I went to go to the kitchen and get something and come back and I'm like, oh, what is this mobile game they're showing us? And I'm like, oh no, this isn't a mobile game. What? Okay, so this is what we're doing. As you traverse the world, you beat the monsters, like you kill them, and then they turn into materials that you use to upgrade your gear. Before major boss battles, you can do stuff like go to kind of like a home workshop thing and enhance your gear, then go back out to kind of like a Monster Hunter World type vibe. There's different trials you can go through, kind of like how like Destiny had the different like trials before you go through an actual dungeon. Other than that, there's not really much to say about the game because it's still for like they showed us a sneak preview a while ago, but now they're showing us actual gameplay. And you are seeing a female character on screen, but at the same time, they showed us a character creation portion where you can basically make your own character. You can be a guy if you want to. You don't have to be.
You want your Phoenix to be a green man? He could be a green man.
Yeah, and So I mean. So is anyone interested in playing this game on a week of release? If you had like a beta, if you had like a key or if someone like gifted you a key, would you sit down and try to get into this?
Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
I would do it.
Yeah, if it was less than, if it was $5 or less, $5 or less for me,
Really?
maybe 10. I'll go as high as 10. $60 release, absolutely not.
No.
40, no. 30, maybe. But like 10 would be like I'll pick that up, no problem. Like
I
on a
would
sale or
I would
something.
definitely want this game to have some kind of demo just to give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Because I never even thought that it looked like a phone game, to be honest with you. I guess I'm alone in that, but I thought it looked great. I love the idea behind it. I don't really care that it's a Breath of the Wild copy because, like you said, everybody's already doing that. So I'm all in on this, but I'm not in a position where I just want to drop full price on a game just to sort of test the waters. Give me a demo, and I'll probably be in anyway.
You'll get one on Stadia, my friend.
Ah!
No.
Yo, them keep pushing Stadia. It's like, get out of here, man. Like, no one trying to hear about that Stadia mess.
The exclusive Stadia.
It's also weird.
experience.
I have a hard time seeing a game that has this kind of aesthetic and thinking that it is very robust. Like, honestly, you look at Breath of the Wild, and when you see, if you knowing nothing about the game, you go in, you see those graphics, you probably don't think it's a very in-depth game. Obviously, pleasantly surprised, great game.
Oh yeah.
I have a hard time seeing much below the surface on a game like this, and part of it is the art style. The other, and I think Serge, you're right. The UI just makes it seem a little, I don't know, arcadey. Just not a very in-depth game. Also, it's gonna be hard to see like Greek mythology in not God of War. We may be spoiled on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well,
Just a little bit.
the thing is too, like, you can't choose a subject matter like Greek mythology and then cheap out on the characters, because you could have so much fun with that. And we've seen that in like God of War and many others. So you're like, even if you like think about Disney's Hercules, they still had fun with that. Like they put it in their own style and it never felt cheap.
I think
That's one of the big
Hercules.
things.
Thank you very much.
Hercules, yeah. Damn it. When there's a scene in this demo where they show a minotaur, you're fighting a minotaur, and the minotaur picks up a rock, and it looks like the rock like snaps off of the ground into the minotaur's hand, and I'm like, we're at the end of a generation, a console generation, and this is what you're trying to peddle on me right now.
That's
Yeah.
some World of Warcraft
What is
graphics
it?
right there.
Yeah.
What is this? Square Enix's Marvel's The Avengers?
I was gonna say, Hulk just picks up nothing from the ground and throws it.
His
They're
hand
on
goes
grass. What are
inside.
their rocks, Hulk? Jeez.
Man.
The world is a rock when you're the Hulk.
The world is his to crush. But I think for this game they said something about like you'll get a preview before this game releases exclusively on Google Stadia. So I don't know if that makes anyone clamor for
No.
like, oh, I'm gonna get a Google Stadia account now. I can get this game early. Wow! Like I don't think like who's that person?
Look, I will say I did try out Stadia or a couple months ago, and I will say that it worked much better than I thought it was going to. I give that going for it. This art style, there's only really so much that you need to process on there. I mean, obviously you actually do see pretty far into the background, and so if you can actually travel to those places, good on them. But hey man, like why not? Try it out if there is a trial on there. I forget if you have to be a paid member for there. I think they said something that anyone with a Gmail account can log in and try it out.
Oh really?
So I mean, that kind of promotion, if they can offer that kind of thing, that hey, basically any type of computer that you have access to, or even a Chromecast, if you got it, you have access to this. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. Ultimately, if I want to be wrong about it, I want it to play and feel really good. I just can't get over what they showed us.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think there are some better games that was at the Ubisoft Forward, and moving along, we're going to talk about one of them right now. Something that I didn't expect to show up in 2020. I mean, I've played this game, and a couple of us have played this game, and we're getting a remake of The Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Yes.
Who saw it? Who
now
absolutely
now
thought
the
I
prince
saw
looks
it.
more like Jake Gyllenhaal than ever.
I'm super bummed because they just had a giant sale of all the Prince of Persia games,
Oh, no way.
and I just bought them all. I was like, yeah, why
You
not?
fool!
It might have been a
Sucker.
humble bundle thing. It might have been humble bundle. I don't remember honestly, but I'm just like, I have them all now. And then like, oh, we're redoing this one, and I'm like, oh, great.
And not only are they redoing Prince of Persia, but like they've actually got
Yeah.
the original actor who was the prince to come back and do motion capture tech, because back then like the motion capture tech wasn't really up and coming in the video game world, and they kind of just did the animations in computer. But now they're like, okay, we're doing a remake, a remaster of sorts. So not only are they upping the graphics, they're tweaking the combat to be a bit more modern, but they have actors now in motion capture suits to give us a better feel for the story, to really get us into the action and the drama and the desire of the Prince of Persia. Yeah.
So I played this game all the way up until I was about to fight the Vizier, right? The very last battle, and I just stopped, which is perfect and par for the course for me.
We call it tantric gaming, Jason.
It's only taken me 15 years to play through it.
It's a lot of edging, my friend.
This doesn't really look great to me. I don't know.
No, I agree.
It's weird. Like it's a remake. I thought it was going to look fantastic. It doesn't look fantastic to me. I played it on the Switch, and I feel like it's only just. I mean, not the Switch. Jesus, the Wii. That's what I played this game on, and it was super fun on the Wii. I feel like I'm not going to have a ton of fun playing through this again, especially where it doesn't look like it's much higher graphics than when it came out on the Wii.
Yeah, like it was one of those things where they're like, oh, like a remake, and they showed it. I was like, yeah, it feels about right. And they're like, look at all the detail, look at all the stuff that we did. And I was like, then why does it look? Why do the characters?
It looks like a PS3 game.
But
No,
again,
you know what it
the
looks
characters again is what it is. The background looks great. It's the characters that look cheap.
They kind of have that sort of like weird sheen that the character models had in Mortal Kombat versus DC.
Yeah.
Do you? I'm like,
Yeah, when they figured out they can make characters just like damp all the time,
they
have it look kind of cool.
if you make them moist, you'll never notice the missing detail.
Yeah,
You'll be
That's
too
what it is.
focused on the moistness.
And it was funny as the presentation was going along and them talking about this being a remake. I was okay, where are the remake graphics? Okay, we're still into this. And then they're talking about the detail Jay was talking about, and I'm like, okay, now switch it over to where you show us like the new graphics. And they just kept going. I'm like, but wait, where are the enhanced graphics?
So by
What's
side
going
was
on?
hilarious because the colors basically just got brighter.
Yep.
But
They
besides that,
remastered it, is what they did.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a straight remaster.
They can tell us that it's all different acting, like the new motion capture and stuff like that. No, I don't believe
Yeah,
it
and
per se.
if you're going that route of doing the motion capture and getting the original actors back and stuff like that, then why don't you have your graphics team, animation team, your people work on giving us? I mean, come on, we're living in an age now.
Want to make it look good?
Yeah, we have a living age now. We have like Final Fantasy VII remake. We have like the Last of Us 2 remaster. I mean, the Last of Us like first one remaster. You know what I mean? We have all these different remasters that really the developers have gone back in and giving us these high resolution textures, the character models that have more polygons, more everything, more tessellation, more
Resident Evil 2 remake.
Resident Evil 2 remake.
3.
Yeah, exactly. All those remakes
That's
really
just a whole new game from the ground up.
But like that's the bar that a remake is now. Like
Exactly.
remastered was I'm gonna sound very Valley Girl-ish right now, and that's fine. Is like the remaster is just so last generation. It's so PS.
No, you're right though. It's not a Valley Girl thing, but this is saying remake, and it's like no, it's clearly not a remake. It's definitely
it's a
not.
remaster.
It's a remaster for sure.
Now here's my question. Would you accept this if they did it like a Rare Replay style, where they got a bunch of games that they did like a tiny little fresh coat of paint on and they sold it to you as a bundle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
they had the entire Prince of Persia, like the storyline series,
Prince of
and
Persia trilogy.
then they threw in 2008 just as like a nice little like cherry on top, then yes, I would pay probably $40 for all that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Easy. But they didn't. It's just this is probably going to be $30-$40 alone right now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look
I hope
all that
so.
great.
You
The
know-
colors are very vibrant, and like that was kind of offset because today it was very like gray and kind of rainy today all day. So I was watching it, I looked out the window, and I was like, oh, I'm depressed.
Wow. Hello,
It's
darkness, my old
That's the theme of
friend.
the episode.
You know,
guys.
It is.
I think if this was on like Switch, if this comes out on Switch, then it would
I'd be
probably
for it.
it'd
Yeah.
be for it. It would,
Yeah.
that would be a good platform for it. But the question is, did they do it? Did they, do all the graphics to the lowest common denominator? Is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's coming out January of next year, but it's on current gen. It's not on next gen. So no, not PS5, not Xbox Series XS. It's on PS4,
Not
current Xbox.
Switch Pro.
Yeah, I mean, like, why? If you're gonna do all that, if you're gonna go through all this trouble, bringing it back, making this announcement, which I was excited to hear the announcement, getting the mocap. I mean, they're spending so much money on the actors and mocap. Okay, but then the graphics aren't up to par. What's the point? I mean, who really thought this through behind the scenes? I mean, how much money do they allocate to this studio to do this? I mean, just enough so we're like, well, I guess we gotta kind of cut back on the graphics budget.
So if they redid the mocap, does that mean that the actor knows how to rewind time?
Yeah,
Yes.
it does 100%.
Was that not obvious?
No, I didn't see it in the behind the scenes. That's why.
Oh, it's one of those things that doesn't need to be said.
Listen, they started it recording at 2:05 and they finished at 1:38. It was
Well, then can he
amazing.
rewind time and ask them to make it better?
Yeah. Yes, that's
That's the sad thing.
The
is-
dagger doesn't
is-
go back that far.
Oh, okay.
They're
They
in too
did.
deep now.
All right. What else did Ubisoft give us?
something that no one asked for, but I feel like a lot of people are still kind of excited about.
People thought it would never happen.
Yeah, Scott
Because of
Pilgrim
licensing rights.
versus the World, the game, I think
Yep.
is what it's called, right? And I got it when I was on 360. It was a great time. I don't think I ever beat it, but I had a lot of fun with it. And Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of my favorite movies because it's just amazing. And the game had every bit as much care as it did. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it tried to be faithful to what the movie experience was in a video game format, which I super appreciated.
I have it for PS3. I played it for maybe 15 minutes and then I stopped. Mostly because I was playing it by myself, and I feel like it's a game that's absolutely ripe for like couch co-op multiplayer.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of want to revisit it now, even if it's the version I have already.
It's just a weird time for couch co-op, to be honest. Like even like I think honestly, if I'm just gonna address everyone, I think Streets of Rage 4 just like burned me out on couch co-op online potential.
Oh,
I see this game and I'm like, I bet you're not even gonna have 2-player online, you stupid game.
Oh, you haven't been all up in the Overcooked.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, that is probably the greatest couch co-op game that's out right now. It is hella fun and phenomenal, and it does support playing actually online as well. So you get the very similar experience. So that has got me through some dark nights at the during pandemic.
Yeah, I played the Scott Pilgrim game when I was in college, and I actually loved it so much I forced a friend of mine to buy it, and we're not friends anymore. But we did pour a ton of hours into beating every scrap, getting every achievement in that game. It's really one of the best beat 'em ups I've ever played. And it might have one of the best soundtracks of any video game ever.
Well, I hope it has what is it? Dumpster
Truck driver?
truck? No, garbage truck, right?
Oh, garbage
Yeah.
truck. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
No,
If that was just the only song in the entire soundtrack, I'd buy
no.
it.
Best song, Scott Pilgrim movie. Now we're going down a big rabbit
So
hole. Well, yes,
Yes.
yes. But second best song, Threshold, but the remix with the Katagawa twins,
Yeah.
where
Oh, yeah.
they have a freaking it was like a double-headed dragon fighting their like trash
Giant-
gorilla.
Giant Gorilla.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
but
good.
the music is all done by Anna Managuchi, which is
Yeah.
the greatest techno chiptune band, maybe the only one that I know of. But
I don't
I
even know
really-
what genre you just said.
it's like they make actual music out of what you could probably get out of a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should absolutely, if you can pull up just the soundtrack to the Scott Pilgrim game and you pick Makin' Movies, which is the Chris Evans track
Yeah.
for Lucas Lee. That's probably my favorite song in the whole game, and I think it totally encapsulates like everything that the jams are about. I can't recommend this game enough. I think it's weird that they're going for a holiday release when there doesn't appear to be any new polish on it, because it's just the complete version, which means it's the same game with the DLC that they released later.
Was it a
And that's
holiday
it.
release?
I think it said holiday 2020.
Was it? I thought it said that it's available now, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
I'm literally looking up right now.
Yeah,
but
it-
you
Holiday-
by
it
all
was-
means.
It was definitely holiday 2020.
All right.
I'll confirm that.
Okay.
It's very funny to me because like this is not a game that I was even on my like radar anymore. I played it, loved it, I moved on, and then there is a huge fandom of just like bring this game back, please, and that's just astonishing to me. It's crazy, and they're doing it, so apparently they listened. And I also forgot this was an Ubisoft game.
Yep.
I find it wild that there's like a huge fandom to bring back a comic book video game like Scott Pilgrim, but there's
Is
no
it
like
Justice League the Snyder Cut? Oh wait, that's not a video game.
but like
No, it exists. It's
have
something
we
that actually
seen
exists.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors like get remade or anything like that?
No, but that would definitely be
Yeah.
definitely ready for that.
Yeah, like I think it's
100%.
about time. It's been 25 years since that
Yeah.
game's
Yeah.
been released.
Are you ready to conquer all 300 something levels again?
Yo, I got to me and my best friend got to like I don't know 184 or something like that, and then like the game just disappeared from his house. I'm like,
Did your friend start acting weird after that? Because I feel like that's one of those games. If you get past a certain point, the government just comes and goes. You're hired.
like Omnibus.
No, they pick you up like Last Starfighter.
Yeah,
It was all a test.
Yeah, they try to recruit me though, and that's
suddenly
The
it all makes
Canadian
sense.
government.
Yeah.
God damn
Yeah.
it.
All right, a little small announcement. Moving on because time is of the essence. So Siege is still a thing, and they made this big to do about how they're doing like this World Cup for Siege, which I thought for a very long time because they were teasing it for so long without actually saying it. That I thought it was like FIFA, like a FIFA thing. They were
It
doing.
was so
It was
freaking
bizarre.
misleading. It was
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
We talked with actual athletes.
Yeah, and it's like what? And then
Did
then
you?
all of a sudden like you look in the background and it's like they have like the bokeh effect on, so it's like slightly blurry. It's like, is that a 6 with a gun? Oh god damn it!
Rainbow
It's
Six.
Siege. It's Siege,
Yeah.
isn't it? So they did announce that Sam Fisher is going to be joining Siege. At least that's what I took out of the
Is
announcement.
he not voiced by Michael Ironside anymore?
I think Michael Ironside got some. I think he's difficult to work with, so they're just like, you know what? Forget you.
That's
Let's try to get him on the podcast. Let's ask him.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Michael Ironside, if you're listening. So he's gonna be in Siege. Cool, I guess. If I played Siege, I like the little animatic that they did. That was kind of cute, kind of funny. But that's about it. All right. Watch Dogs Legion. They showed more of it again. I am.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Because I'm a little disappointed.
I've
with
never
this game.
played this game, and it looks really neat.
Neat as in like clean, or neat as in like cool.
Neat as in like I've never seen another game like it.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't believe what they're saying. I don't believe for a goddamn second that you could just pick up a
recruit
grandma.
any NPC.
Yeah. So I think that, and this is something that, again, I was watching this over Geek Generation. Rob brought up, and I 100% agree with this. I'm wondering if they have like archetypes. So your grandma archetype, your construction worker archetype, and they all basically follow the same storyline. So you can pick up any civilian you want, but there's classes of civilians, which I think would be a lot easier to manage for the developer.
Well, I would tell you that this already quote unquote exists in a form already.
Yeah.
In Metal Gear Solid 5. Sort of like in that
Kinda.
the soldiers aren't playable, but you can grab any enemy soldier that's on the field, and they all have unique stats, unique specialties.
yeah, but
true. You can
that's
tie him
easier.
to a balloon and send him to Jesus.
That's easier to manage though, because all it is just, it's not really voice acted terribly differently. It's just stats from like an RNG essentially. So like,
Right.
yeah, that happens. But this is like voice acted. This is playing. This is skills. This is abilities. This is like a whole thing.
Right.
And this supposedly affects the whole story. So I don't know if I believe it. And again, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for them to pull it off, but I just don't believe it. I also think that them showing that super stylistic cinematic before they showed any bit of the game, it was a big detriment to me. Because now I just want the game to look like the animatic that we saw, what was that, a month or two ago?
Yeah.
That's what I really want. But no,
Wouldn't
it just
wouldn't
looks
that happen
generic.
with anything? Like how many games really come along where the in-game graphics match the cinematic?
But it was a completely different style. If you watch the cinematic, it was closer in style. It was like an edgier, literally and metaphorically, than this actual game. It was like an edgier Spider-Verse kind of. It had that kind of feel to it, like a grit, dark with like bright neons, street art, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the actual Watch Dogs game looks just like, I don't know, like GTA.
Didn't we have run to a similar thing with the first Watch Dogs where they made all sorts of crazy promises and then we didn't quite land the plane on that one?
Yeah,
that's
that's why I kind of feel weird about this game.
Yeah.
Is because like it looks so intriguing. Like I want to play the shit out of this game, but I don't know if it's gonna deliver like the other ones haven't in the past.
Yeah.
You will fail like your father before you.
Yeah, I feel that. I just don't trust it. It's too wild for me, which is probably going to be famous last words. And they'll probably pull it off. It'll be great. And you'll be picking up like, I don't know, what was this rapper's name?
Stormzy?
Stormzy, and get to play as Stormzy for all we know. I don't know.
No, he has a mission in the game.
Yeah, but if he's in the city and you can recruit anyone in the city, then you theoretically should be able to recruit Stormzy.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
If you
for all the
recruit
theoretically.
everyone in
Yeah.
the city, does that mean that you just win the game because no one's opposing you because they're all
Yeah.
Everyone is recruited.
Yeah, you just go to the top dog. You're part of my team now. Game over.
Maybe
Game
you have
over.
to beat him in a rap battle. You know, it's like NBA Street Rules where you beat him
It's
on
like
a game of
it's like
3-on-3
Parappa
hoops.
the Rapper.
Yeah.
Proper
what a
Battle
game.
London edition.
Oh man.
Oh man, it was so funny. Like as the live stream was going on, you see this the split in crowd from like people from NA who don't know who Stormzy is, and people from the UK who are just like, "Whoa, Stormzy! Oh, this is crazy! This is mad, bruv! This is it's mad, bruv!" And everyone in NA is just like,
Americans being like, "Can I have the Travis Scott version?"
"Can I have the Travis Scott mission? Can I play as him?"
Cactus Jack sent me.
And not the wrestler. The true Cactus Jack.
that's
Yeah. God, you won't let
It's
that go.
lit.
No.
Yeah, but I know like only one or two people who are actually jazzed about this game. It looks all right. I mean, you can recruit grannies. You can recruit like special heroes in the game, but I don't really know anybody who's too jazzed about like, oh, I need this game right now. I gotta pre-order. I gotta get it. I gotta get special like whatever the hell collector's edition is going on for this game. But it looks neat. I mean, are you guys
It's fine.
gonna pick it up or peruse it?
No, I haven't played any Watch Dogs yet. Like I'm not gonna start with this one. If I have them on PC, like if I'm gonna start, I'll start from number 1.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to see what happens to that character Aiden Pierce, because apparently he's showing up in this game, which all the fans want, in paid DLC. We'll give you what you want. You got to give us more money for it, though.
You gotta pay.
What is this racket?
Terrible.
More like watch my wallet, dogs.
Honestly, I'll just wait until they do the complete edition.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'll wait for that to go down to like $15-20 max.
Yeah, Ubisoft always does that. They have all these different like DLCs for their game. They set the third, and later on the line, it's like, oh, here's everything all at once for a discounted price, and you're like,
yeah, that's
now-
every DLC
you're-
though.
yeah, and you're like, now this feels like a complete game. It's almost.
That's what
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
even
why play a game now when you can wait 2 years and pay for it when it's finished?
well, there are some people like not Watch
true.
Dogs, I don't think, but there are some like Arkham does this. I will always get Arkham on launch day, even though I know they're going to have paid DLC, and even though I know that it's going to have a complete edition later, because I want to play it immediately.
The Gautier
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah. So there's like, and I guarantee you're the same way with Fallout, Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's why.
Except-
That's why.
except for Fallout 76, which they got
Terrible.
me. Full price tag. I played it for a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Last thing they showed, it was this new IP called Riders Republic.
Fall off your bike, guys.
Physics, the video game
Yeah.
MMO.
Yeah.
The X Games game.
We're
It's
trying to
kinda
make
what it
extreme
was.
sports cool again.
Yeah. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. The style looked kind of cool, but like, I don't know.
I got Steep was on PlayStation Plus like I don't know, sometime last year, and I was like, I'll download it. I haven't played a snowboarding game in a while, and there's like wingsuit and snowboarding, and I was just like, for the most part, I'm kind of over this.
Yeah, especially that they're selling it as like this, like massively, like MMO, like a massively multiplayer online thing. So in the preview, you got like a bunch of different bikers going downhill. You got guys in wingsuits with jetpacks going on. You got all the nice like candy coated colors to get the young people in there. It's like, oh look, things are pink and neon green. Whoa, you guys like those colors? Whoa.
Thanks, Suicide Squad.
Did you play the latest Far Cry? We did.
Yeah,
The environment looks really nice, though. That's the thing.
It
I'm like,
does.
oh, if only about this environment, if you could, like, get a stone and hit a tree with it and then build a fort and then raid other people's. I want this game to be Rust.
Wait, it sounds like Rust. It's like Rust with like bikes and
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Bring it.
I mean, if they make it like kind of like a Fall Guys thing, instead of like you being like tubby jelly beans, you're just like guys on dirt bikes and snowboards, and there's like a battle royale mode where you gotta like make yourself like go down the mountain and do all these different things like on the way. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, but yeah, like Jay said, I think the environments look pretty sweet. I like these open world games with like lush landscapes, like up in the forest and stuff like that. And like I did like Sweep and like SSX, like all these other like games and
Cool Borders.
cool
Yeah.
borders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Trials. Yeah, the motorbike game Trials.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so here they're like, hey, there's a lot of these extreme sports. There's also ways for you to earn quote unquote in-game sponsorships like Red Bull. There's the X Games, so there's that aspect too. Gotta see more of the gameplay though, but they're really like harping on there's gonna be like a lot of people in the game. You're gonna be doing a lot of these like outdoor sports, and so have at it. And I don't know, that's kind of a nice change of pace from these like linear games and other games that just want to sell you on like a hardcore action adventure game. This is just like a silly, hey, like it's you and your bros on dirt bikes or in wingsuits and on snowboards, just going down a mountain or perusing this like big open landscape. And I'm like, okay, that seems pretty neat.
It'll be interesting to see what the price tag is on this as well, because most battle royales that we've seen have had no or very small price tag.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Pay for
If this is-
cosmetics only. I'm sold.
If this is free to play, I'll try it.
Yeah, it'd be worth it. It's worth a download.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially like you're looking at the part in the trailer where there's a guy going like downhill on the bike and all the textures pop. Like,
Yeah, dude, I do want to do that.
So-
that looks like fun.
It's kind of silly, right? But it's kind of a punch in the balls too, where like you get a game that you're like not really interested in playing. The gameplay is just like whatever, blasé to you. But then it looks gorgeous, and then you get this remake of Prince of Persia, and it's like the game that you do want to really play, and then just doesn't look good. I'm like, come on, guys, like fix yourselves, figure yourself out.
That's great, right? Like the Prince of Persia people in this same presentation, like, oh man, what? Look at all these other games.
Well,
Look at
this looks
this.
great. This is new. Yeah, yeah, it's new. Yeah.
Wait, we all work for the same company? How come
Yeah.
we don't have those graphics guys?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
invented this IP, and we did a really great job with it. And you guys had the IP, you just fucked it up.
Yeah, and all these different landscapes. They got like, oh, here's Bryce Canyon. Here's this location. Here's bears and rabbits and stuff.
Zion.
And it's just like, what? This looks kind of cool.
I feel like I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna like kind of dump on it now because I'm like, I don't really want to play it. I think I'm gonna have like so much fun playing this game.
yeah.
The more and more I look at it.
Yeah, it's especially when you get your friends into it, like you're all like just like snowboarding, like down this like beautiful like landscape, and on top of like the resorts. And then you got, and what also is cool too. You have that I forget what it's called, but the guys in wingsuits, but they have like jets on their back, like you're the Rocketeer, like you're the freaking Rocketeer. Like it's called something, I forget what it is, but that looks pretty cool too. I'm like, what? They put that in here? Okay, neat. And you got all these like fun different environments, and there's a part of the game where some of the environments are changing different colors. I'm like, oh, is there like a map customization thing? That seems pretty interesting. Like,
The different colors. Oh, that looks like a competition where you do tricks on different parts of the map, and then I'm assuming it's working like some other things like this, where like if the highest scoring trick tags that part of the map to your color. And then the obviously by the end the team with the most color wins.
Oh,
You know
that actually work pretty sweet. Like one like Team Orange is like tagging the whole entire like map because they're just doing like the sickest tricks, they're getting the highest score, and then teams have to try to paint it their color like green or whatever. Yeah.
You know what I would love to see is if this game has kind of like the MMO effect where you can go in like into a lobby with a specific kind of character and hang out. If this turns into like the next role playing kind of platform, right?
I
know
don't
how they did that for GTA.
And just call it the Lodge.
Yeah,
dude.
branding.
Reenact the entire movie of Out Cold, right?
Oh,
Or Johnny Tsunami.
Or Johnny
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Yo!
Or just reenact Jackass. You know what I mean? Like do something like that virtually, where you actually don't have to, take prescription medicine for the
Writing
rest
this
of your
down
life.
now. Every episode of Rocket.
What other
Power.
podcast is bringing back Out Cold and Johnny Tsunami? Let's
Dude,
go.
no, Casey nailed it, dude. Rocket power, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh my
Raimundo.
god! I hope they have like a King of the Mountain like mini game in this
yeah.
thing, like
Yep.
Out Cold. Did I hear King of the Mountain? Dude, I love Out Cold. I love that freaking movie. So good. Zach
So good.
Galifianakis, check it out if you've never heard of it, Zoomers. But zooming right along, Casey, there is another game that showed us some stuff and things. What do we got? What do we got?
Yeah.
Jump in at any moment now.
You kept talking. They're making a Hyrule Warriors Breath of the Wild prequel. That's Age of the Calamity.
Yeah.
Am I jazzed about it? Sure. Have I played the original Hyrule Warriors? No. But do I know about their attention to detail in that game?
Maybe.
Oh, absolutely. No, I know that. I know that game inside and out just by watching everything peripherally. Aonuma's not kidding when he said that the Tecmo Koei guys have got it down. Every little Easter egg, every little thing that they pumped into the like 15 or whatever characters inside the first Hyrule Warriors, expanded edition, what have you. It started out on handheld, they brought it up to console, then they made an even bigger version of that. That's like a completionist nightmare though, so it's probably the only reason I haven't really touched it. For those of you who don't know, it's basically Dynasty Warriors but with Zelda, which is super cool.
And for all the Zoomers, what's Dynasty Warriors?
It's a game where you play as a bunch of ancient Eastern generals, and you are a single man fighting entire armies all on your own.
Have you ever
Badass.
seen a samurai or kung fu movie? Let's stick with kung fu. You ever seen Kung Fu Hustle, where it's just one person against thousands?
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
That's the premise of any samurai or Dynasty Warriors game.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But this game in particular takes place in the 100 years before Breath of the Wild, when Hyrule is completely thrown into ruin. The world is overtaken by monsters, and Calamity Ganon is floating around.
And then Aang went into the ice
And then he
before
went,
the Hunger Games War.
And then he came out as a Phoenix Rising, and
it's like poetry. It rhymes. The thing that's got me the most stoked about this is you get to actually play as the original champions.
yeah, that
That's
looked pretty
cool.
badass.
Got killed. Yeah,
I kind of like that.
They were the best part of Breath of the Wild. All
Yes.
the fully voiced, I might add,
Mhm.
Nintendo cutscenes with them in it, showing off and kicking butt. Right before they all died. But come on, playable
Spoilers.
Urbosa? I'm sold.
It's so cool. I'm so psyched that they brought that lore into this game. I'm psyched to play as even cockier Falco. I forget what the what his name is.
Rivali.
Rivali, yeah, he just hates on Link so bad.
That
so
just
good.
sucks.
But no, he turns out to be your bro afterward. He's cool with you,
Yeah.
once you prove yourself to him
Prove
again.
your worth.
And
Yeah.
also, if it's 100 years before Breath of the Wild, how is Link there?
He
I mean-
slept. Did you play
Did you
Breath
play
of
it?
the Wild?
Yeah. But at the same time, like, how does he not remember any of this in Breath of the Wild? Because he's just like, oh, I'm awake. Whoa, what's happening here? I don't know any of this stuff.
He has coma amnesia. There's a whole subplot in Breath of the Wild where you got to collect your old memories.
Yep.
Mhm.
But I think if
doesn't
they're going to
talk.
do a game like this, this is 100% the way to do it.
Yeah.
If that they want to give another Hyrule Warriors a go, but they have this huge backstory that literally we only know because people tell it to us. And as you know, in show business, it's better to show, don't tell. So this is a really, really cool way to go about this. And it's kind of interesting because we've been waiting for Zelda news for a while. Was it a year or two ago that they announced that they were working on Breath of the Wild 2?
Yeah,
Or
we
whatever
got
the
that.
sequel's
We got
gonna
that
be?
little trailer with dried out husky Ganon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so this is cool that we get a little bit more in the meantime while we're waiting for that sweet, sweet goodness.
Yeah, this is a good holdover. I'm psyched. I'm psyched about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It
I'm-
seems
I'm-
like part of the world as opposed to being like an add-on to something else.
Now
Yeah.
that they've finally established the Zelda timeline, they're like, oh, we can make these games connect even more than we thought.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is that we know the ending of this, right?
Oh yeah.
What do you
Like,
mean?
if
Anything could
anybody's
happen.
shocked, then
Your Master Sword's gonna get all rusty and chipped by the end of this adventure. Let me tell you.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm all in. I'm
Yeah.
getting it.
Of course
I-
you are.
I might go back and actually play the first one because I think it was re-released on Switch.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too.
Yeah, I'm debating pretty heavily.
Oh,
Is it
I thought you
multiplayer?
meant Breath of the Wild. I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
too. I was like,
playing
wait,
it.
I've
what?
had that. I've had
So
that.
confused. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking about going back and playing Breath of the Wild. There's like
I might
maybe one or two
actually.
things I have to do, like pick up a couple seeds. That's it. But
Just a couple.
just
Still-
yeah,
I still have to beat the campaign of Breath of the Wild. I stopped when they're like, "All right, you can go to the castle now." I was like, "But I don't want it to be over."
yeah, that part was boring.
Yeah.
You're not missing out, man.
Yeah,
Honestly.
okay.
Yeah.
That was
and
what I
Ganon
figured
wa-
out. You could block the lasers.
Ganon
Know
was
that until the
an-
final boss battle.
The Calamity Ganon was an insanely underwhelming battle, I think. And I was just like, okay, like thanks.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. All I got for beating the dungeons was a shorter final boss fight.
So now we're going to get into a segment of what's everybody been playing. Chris, what's been going on with you?
A couple things. One of which a while ago, based off a sale, I got the HD remasters of Jak 2, or rather of the Jak and Daxter collection. And I had fairly recently beat the first one on Vita, just kind of like sitting down watching TV. And I had started going through Jak 2, and I kind of had forgotten about it. And I recently this week picked it back up again. And the main reason I want to bring it up is this game's freaking hard. Holy crap. talk about like ramping, like games that have like super high difficulties. This game is so punishing. It's ridiculous. But the controls are so tight. The colors are so bright. The story is really good. It's still really fun. So I've been going back through that. Maybe I'm going to finish it again for the second time. The other thing I've been playing is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster. That came out
How
last
is
week.
it?
Dude, this is how you do a remaster, man. It is perfect. And I don't think I'm the only one that's playing it.
Nope, I am too. I got it. I was like, am I gonna get this? Am I gonna get this? And it was launch day. I was like, who am I kidding? Purchase.
I'm still on the fence about it.
It's really good.
You're still on the rail about it. Haha, got him.
Hey,
I'm driving the rail about it. Well, so is the soundtrack intact?
Oh yeah.
All the ones that so the soundtrack from the original ones that I remember, I haven't gotten into 2 yet. I'm still on 1. Is what the good stuff is there that I remember. What I'm kind of bummed about is they did do a remaster of this for Xbox 360. And they did add a whole bunch of new songs on there that are not in this.
Oh, weird.
So yeah, like the experience that you remember of the classic Tony Hawk is still intact. It's still there. It's almost like what you remember Tony Hawk being.
Yeah. But
Sweet.
it's actually better than what you remember because they took all of the additions all the way up through like Tony Hawk 4, like all the stuff that actually worked, refined
Like you
it.
can get off your board?
I can't get off your board, but things like reverts, manuals, flat landing, like all that stuff that they didn't add, that weren't available in the first game, are now available in the first game. I mean, back to talking about like the Prince of Persia game, like seeing a remaster like this that is pretty much a recreation of the first 2 games, but doing it so incredibly it's weird that we're seeing something that is just shy of that.
This is definitely a remake, not a remaster.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have a
Are you playing it too?
called- so I I own it. I have to go pick it up from a GameStop.
To what?
Yeah, this is weird. So
in 2020?
Yeah, I know, right? So a little segment called "How Did We Get Here" with Jason.
This time it doesn't involve IKEA meatballs.
It doesn't. No, GameStop called me one day, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and they were like, "Hey, you have like $87 in like a returned or like a failed pre-order. So what do you want?" And I was like, I don't think I have that. Wrong guy. Because I thought it was like a setup or something like that. Honestly, I think I was like, no, this is Jason. Like, this is your phone number, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, "Is your email?" I said, "Yep." And he goes, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Yeah, you have like $85 or whatever it is." I'm like, "Okay." And I did 2 things. I was like, "Can you pre-order the entire thing of like a PC version of Cyberpunk?" He's like, "Yep, you got it." He's like, "Now you still have some money left. What else do you want?" And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never been in this position in my life before.
I never had this much power.
So he starts labeling off a bunch of games. I'm like, "No, don't care. And he's like, Tony Hawk? And I was like, "Yes, do it." And he goes, "Okay, that comes out tomorrow. So come pick it up." So I go to the GameStop that it's like pre-ordered at. That GameStop doesn't exist. They moved or something like that. So I got to go find it.
Oh no.
What?
I would just love for them to call you and be like, "Would you like to buy Destiny for the 4th time?"
Hey, we realize you're kind of an idiot. Would you like to buy this game again? All right.
The other cool thing that they did announce this week as well that was they kept under the wraps is that they actually have Jack Black playing Officer Dick in this game. The security guard that drives around, as well as he is an unlockable character. He did a bunch of mocap on his YouTube channel. He did a whole behind the scenes thing about it.
Yeah, I saw that. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah. Greg, what have you been playing?
I've been playing, so I've also been playing Tony Hawk, but I did get to do another indie showcase over at the Geek Generations channel, and for that I got a code for the 3000th Duel. This comes from developer Neo Popcorn Corporation or Corp. I don't know which one it is. They're a Korean developer, but the game is amazing. I'm still playing it. I'm only ever really like supposed to play like 2 hours live, but I think I continued it into my channel for another like 4 hours, and then I just been playing it since then. I put in 12 or 13 hours so far. It's a Metroidvania style game with a Souls-like kind of death mechanic. So yeah, I got Casey's attention right now. I could see it in his eyes.
Having heart palpitations.
So basically, you play I call her Little Red Riding Hood the Knight because that's what she kind of looks like. You go through, you kind of trying to get your memories back. There's like a wolf kind of chasing you around that you only really see in cutscenes, and you just go through this world and you get abilities, you get weapons. When you die, you lose all of your experience points that you haven't spent yet on upgrades, and you have to go find your orb and then get it, and you can get all your stuff back. There's the souls element there for you.
Mhm.
It plays super smooth. I'm very much into it.
Like Hollow
Graphically,
Knight smooth.
it's like 1% less than Hollow Knight smooth.
Whoa.
It's very smooth.
That's pretty smooth.
It
That's
feels
very smooth.
very, very good. Whenever I play like any of these games, it's for me, it's either going to be like Dead Cells or it's going to be like Bloodstained. And Bloodstained, for everyone who's kind of had a conversation with me about it, is not my favorite because it doesn't feel all that smooth. Whereas Dead Cells is just all smooth. It's like you're rolling around in butter the entire game. And this is very similar to Dead Cells in that regard. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. I think it's still on sale right now. It's originally $15. It's on sale, I believe, still for half off. So $7.50.
Nice.
So it's definitely, I think it's worth full price based on what I've put into it so far. It's challenging too. You get bosses and you're at least playing most of them 3-4 times at least.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Yep.
Nice.
That's what I've been playing.
Yeah, and I've been playing, as always, is dropping into Warzone. So instead of me talking about what I've been playing, you guys can go over to the Rogue Matter YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit like on our episode where we talked to Call of Duty actor Chad Michael Collins. That was a great conversation that we had there, talking about Call of Duty Warzone and him being in the game itself, playing Alex. That was a lot of fun. Send it over to youtube.com/Rogue Matter. Hit that little subscribe button, like the video, and that'll help us out there. So another thing we got here is what's free this week in gaming?
There's two things on the Epic Store. You have Railway Empire and Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. I've never heard of any of these. This is one of those weird indie games, but
Is
they're
that a
free.
Christ simulator?
Is it a Jesus game? I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
It's a
I
great
mean,
info.
I don't know. You just add them to your account. They're free. Just do it. Who knows? You may surprise you one day.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Just let Christ into your life.
Amazing.
This is why we can't have nice things.
see now, like, how am I
It's literally
supposed to segue from that into like the ending of the episode?
Oh, I can
just
think of
end the
many
call now.
inappropriate ways.
Yeah, exactly. How do we stay friendly? Jesus, Casey. I mean, damn it.
There you
There
go.
it is.
Anyway, all right. That's all the time we have this week for this episode of the Button Smash Podcast. Yeah. Make sure to tune in each and every week here at twitch.tv/WeAreRogueMatter. We do this every Thursday live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So wherever you are, make sure you grab yourself a snack, pull up your couch, get a controller, flick your mouse, and turn us on here. We are on everywhere you can listen to a podcast. Yes, every single where you listen to a podcast. Yeah, it's real. And thanks everybody who's been tuning in live, giving us a follow, giving us a little subscribble, a little scratch our way. That's always appreciated. We see you guys in the live chat here on Twitch. Thank you for being great. You guys are a great community, talking about video games and everything, and following us along on our wonderful journey here into the future of gaming. We will see you guys later, or we see you guys another time.